Happy 2020. So much fun filming my 19 things, and I just love to chat now that I have my new professional, fun, flirty couch. In the spirit of new year, new you, new resolutions, all that stuff, I decided that I was gonna make a video. I don't know what it was, but I've been on a podcast kick, and I'm feeling inspired to make a video that has my 10 tips that I believe will give you a successful and potentially life-changing year. I've been reflecting on the last year of my life, as a lot of us do. This was a life-changing year for me. I wanted to sit back and be like, okay, what did I do? What did I start doing that I wasn't doing before? That was this catalyst for having so much change. Some of this stuff, some of the reason all this happened to me, things like American Idol, yes, it was part of God's plan, and there was a lot of divine pieces to the story, but there were also things I started doing that were active and started changing my life for the better. So I started making this list, and I found 10 things that I believe will give you a really successful year and productive year that'll make you proud of yourself, whether that puts you on the roll to change your life or life-changing things start happening. I believe these 10 things matter. So if I get really passionate about them, it's because I feel really passionate about them, and I keep spitting as I talk. And what is that? Oh, it's on my screen. I could grab it, but it's not on my wall. I thought it was a bug. It's on the screen. Okay, let's just get into it because I love you. Tip number 1 to have a successful and hopefully life-changing year. Say yes to the things that scare you. And no, don't twist my words and make this sound like, oh yeah, jump off that 30,000 foot cliff because it scares you. Okay, don't do that. You know what I'm saying here. Do the things that have always scared you. I've been reading this book called The War of Art. You should just read the book if you want like a 160-page dive on this. It's really well written. But my quick summary is, close your eyes and picture the life you've always dreamed of, all those amazing things you want to do and accomplish, and the stages you want to be on, whether those are real stages or metaphorical stages. And what's the thought that's keeping you from it? Or what are those things you think about and then you immediately feel fearful? Or maybe what feels like logic is like, no, you can't do that. It's not gonna make you money. You're not gonna be very good at that, or that's embarrassing. All those things are what's called resilience, and they are stopping you from doing the things you really wanna do and what you really should be doing. The more resilience you feel for something, the more you need to do it and try it. So anyway, I say yes. Say the brave yes. I am so thankful. The changes that have occurred from my life have precipitated from one huge brave yes.
It felt really small at the time.
I had no idea it was gonna domino and become this huge thing, but I said yes to one random audition in November of 2017. That led me to the show, which led to a lot of more brave yeses, which led me to all the things I'm feeling right now and all the reasons I'm feeling proud of my year and my life and myself right now, which is the best feeling, and I want you all to feel it. I didn't really want to do it. There were things in my head that day being like, man, I just want to stay home. A lot of it was fear kicking in, being like, am I ready for an audition? You're never gonna feel ready for the things that life is gonna throw at you.
So freaking go for it.
Say yes, be brave. You never know where that yes is gonna take you. Do what scares you. And also, these 10 things I'm telling myself to continue doing this year, because I don't do it every time. Every time I feel fearful of something, I don't always just say yes and go forward, but I'm seeing the power of saying yes and doing those things that scared me.
Oh my gosh, I've accomplished so much in the last 365 days.
Because I've stopped being so fearful. Tip number 2 to have a successful year, and hopefully a life-changing one. Get a planner. Mine is very cute. It's my favorite color, pink, and it's got my initials on it. Get a life planner. I feel like any success I've ever had in this world has come from being organized, and having a planner helps tremendously. One, because you can make constant lists of like things you've got to do, crossing them off.
Feels so freaking good.
When I say I gotta take a shower, do my hair, cross it off, it feels so good. But also when I say I gotta make that scary phone call that I don't really want to do,
cross it off, and I'm so proud of myself.
I just believe in having a planner. Being organized is so important because it helps you get things done. And how are you supposed to progress, especially if you have any creative, if you're one of those creatively inspired people and you're not really sure how to move forward? It can be really easy to get nothing done, but it can be incredibly easy to get things done when you write them down in this planner. This has saved my life. I've had a planner since 5th grade. I talked about it in my last YouTube video. Truly obsessed with it. I believe getting a planner matters for you to be productive, successful, to do the things you really want to do. Write them dang down and go for it. And that way you can be on top of yourself when you're like, okay, when every Monday when you're like, I'm gonna get this, and done. And then all of a sudden Sunday comes around and you haven't done it, you've got a freaking reminder right here screaming at you in the face being like, bish, you didn't do it. Yeah. Tip number 3 is kind of related to the planner. Set goals. And furthermore, write them down. Every single week in my planner, when I start a new week, right after where it says Sunday at the bottom, there's a little gap for notes. What I write, goals. I've done it every single week, minimum for the last year. Sometimes there's only 2, sometimes there's 7, sometimes they're huge goals, and sometimes they're tiny goals, like make that phone call I really didn't want to make, or send that email I've been putting off. When I write them down, there is a power to it. It's part of manifesting those things you really want to do and get done or try out for and you're afraid of. The first step is writing them down. I'll even go so far as to say, don't just write them down, say them out loud. Yeah, horrifying. I never said my goals out loud, the ones that were close to my heart. Horrified of saying them out loud. And then this past year, I said, screw it, and I'm gonna start saying them out loud, and holy crap, my life changed.
Drastically.
Set goals, write them down, and if you're so brave as to do this, say them out loud into the world. When you get this planner and you look back 360 days, 5 days from now, you are gonna be so proud of yourself. And you're gonna have this little diary of how it all transpired. Get a planner, write down your goals, that's that. Tip number 4, well, some of you might be sitting here listening to this if you've made it this far and you're like, okay, Margie, here's the deal. Yours makes sense. You're talking about American Idol, you're talking about singing, you're talking about all these dreams you had, and cool. Well, what if I don't know what I want to do? Not everybody knows what their passions are. Well, here's tip number 4. Experiment and explore. Try new things, dang it. One of my goals of this year, I want to take a dance class. I've been saying it for 2 years. Let's go. Let's experiment. Let's explore. Let's see what we like. Try that random workout class. Try that Skillshare class in case you're like, oh, maybe I really want to be an entrepreneur and all this stuff. Whatever it is, try it. Explore it. You will be proud of yourself for being brave and trying something new, regardless. Take a freaking friend with you. Make it an event. Get a big coffee. Try something new. Go look on the random flyer in your apartment and it's like, oh, Tai Chi, let's go. Let's do some Tai Chi. Taekwondo, Tang Soo Do. I actually haven't tried Tai Chi. Explore, experiment. What have you got to lose?
Nothing.
Thank you. Tip number 5. This one's a big one for me. Exercise. Okay, you're like, what if it's not a fitness goal? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Exercise is so important because 1, it's great for your body. A healthy body leads to a happy mind.
2,
exercise gives you energy. 3, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Health and happiness are 2 crucial things in a person's lifetime. I'm not gonna get too far into that. I was just listening to this podcast and Ed Milet was talking, and he's this amazing life coach. He coaches a lot of celebrities, all these people. And what he was saying was, if you have like a thought in your mind, like setting a goal, right? I wanna start this business venture, whatever. I wanna score this many touchdowns this year. I wanna do this fitness thing, try out for this play, whatever you wanna do. If your mind and your body are not in congruence, which means like acting together, it is not gonna happen. The number of times we set our New Year's resolutions and they never come true, time and time again, we've proved that. It's never gonna happen unless your body and your mind are in congruence. So guess what? Exercise is so important because it's fueling your body. It takes energy to work out, but it gives you more energy. Even if that's your only goal for the year, you will thank yourself. Adds years on your life, gives you so much more energy to conquer the day. The days that I feel the most drained and unhappy are when I'm really
low energy.
I sit in my bed all day and I wonder why I feel like my life sucks. Well, it's because I'm not doing anything. Get outside, go get up and do something. Isn't that a website? If your limbs are working, you could go on a walk. As simple as that. Or do YouTube exercise, okay? After this, go do 8-minute abs. This leads me to tip number 6. Drink more water. Get a cute water bottle while you're at it. Is that a sentence? Get a cute water bottle while you're at it if it helps you. I was at yoga a couple days ago. This lady pulls her mat up next to mine. She literally had a gallon water bottle. She got it off Amazon. I'm gonna try to find it and I'll link it here. Just for reference, this is a 16-ounce water bottle. It holds 2 cups of water. So if I'm drinking 8 of these, that's how much water her one water bottle held. It was huge and pink and it had all these motivations every 2 hours. It was like, you got this, you're thirsty. It's super funny. Okay, let me tell you a little something. Do you know how good water is for you? We need water. We can't survive 3 days without water. When I finally realized how important it was to drink water and I started doing it religiously, drinking a lot.
Yeah, I peed a lot, but guess what?
I felt so freaking good. Your skin will glow. You will feel more energized. You will feel happier because you're not living in a state of dehydration. The more water you drink, the more you're gonna realize, holy crap, I was dehydrated my whole life. Drink more water. Americans live in a state of dehydration, most of them. If you take one of these things away, drink more water.
I'm a big fan of water.
Yeah, you will pee a lot, but just get used to it. It's good for you. Tip number 7, check in on what you're consuming. And I don't mean food, even though if all you've eaten in the last 7 days is Cheetos, maybe you should check in on that. But I'm talking about like, what resources are you consuming? What are you reading? Are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? Are you on social media all day long just consuming it and being jealous of other people's lives? Or even if you don't realize you're jealous of somebody else's life, because mind you, you're seeing their highlight reel, you're seeing a fabricated version of their life. When you go on Instagram for an hour, are you feeling drained and not that happy? You're probably being affected by what you consume. If there's somebody's pictures that you always see, every time you see their story, it's sucking energy from you, mute them or unfollow. They don't have to know that you muted them. Frickin' do it. And also, try to consume things that bring you positivity. I've been on this podcast
Grind.
and I have felt so energized and so motivated to just run with this year. Hence why I'm making this video for you. Which is what brings me to tip number 8. I'm gonna challenge you here. Consume less and create more. And if you're not a creative, if you're watching this and you're like, I don't have any creative bones in my body, which you probably do somewhere, just do more of what you're passionate about, right? That's where I saw the most significant change in my life. It was not just doing more, but doing more of what I loved and creating more music and art and content that I love to do, that I've all my life desired but been so afraid of. Doing more, it's amazing because it creates this virtuous cycle where, okay, like I'll give you this example of this YouTube. The more YouTube videos that I'm making, the more creative my mind is feeling, and I'll just randomly, while I'm filming this, have an idea for a new video. And now I have this huge document that's just like, it has 3 sections. It says filmed, edited, posted, and all these ideas. It's this amazing virtuous cycle. So listen, stop consuming so freaking much, especially if it's negative. Start creating. And if you're like, I don't want to create anything, okay, start doing more. If you're just like, really want to be an amazing football player, go do those. I don't know, I took football for girls once. I can kind of spiral if you give me like a mini football. Tip number 9, find someone that holds you accountable. It can be really hard to start change and facilitate change by yourself. Life is hard. Changing your patterns and habits and creating good habits is really hard. Writing them down really helps, but if you find like, okay, every week I'm writing this thing down and then I'm transferring it to next week because I never did it, find a friend to help you. When I have something I'm really afraid of, like I'm feeling so much resilience to do, whether it's like, oh, I don't want to go to that doctor's appointment, oh, I don't want to take that audition, I tell somebody about it. Whether it's a friend who's in the same field or it's my boyfriend, I say, hey, Johnny, do not let this week go by and me not have done that. Remind me and force me to do it by the end of this week or by the end of this day. Life doesn't happen in a vacuum. You can't assume you're gonna make this life-changing year, this amazingly successful year by yourself. Nobody's success ever happened by themselves. So guess what? Use a friend, use a family member, get someone, use an anonymous person online. I don't care. Someone that will hold you accountable and that you can report back to and be like, I did it, I'm proud of myself. And to celebrate the wins with you, that's huge too. Okay, tip number 10, prepare for the long haul. I always say this, but I really mean it. Patience is a huge and very important virtue. If you have these dreams for your life, right? How do you expect them to happen overnight? Anything worth having does not happen overnight. And even when it looks like something happens overnight, it probably took months and months and years and maybe even decades of preparing for it, practicing for it, getting ready for it. Sometimes you reap benefits really quickly, but it doesn't mean that you just showed up and it happened. You prepared for a long time. So prepare for the long haul. 2020, you're gonna need to eat a loaf of patience this year, because guess what? While you're putting in all your little hard work, you might not reap the benefits right away, but when you do, you will get to be so proud of yourself because you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I put in so much work and I proved to myself
I can do anything.
It's an amazing virtuous cycle, and I feel like a crazy freaking lecturer right now, and I've never done a video like this, but I'm just feeling inspired because so much change occurred in the last 365 days. Not just that so much occurred, but so much that I am proud of. And I'm looking back and I'm like, yes, there was some divine intervention there at the start of it. But I took that opportunity, that little seed, and I ran with it. And I used those 10 things every day. I set those goals. I drank my water and my coffee. I exercised. I had the energy to do it. I wrote those goals down. I made people hold me accountable to them, including myself. And then all of a sudden, all this tremendous change happened. And I freaking, back to number one, I stopped being so dang fearful. Screw fear. It is fake. It is not real. It doesn't exist. It lives and feeds on us. And the more you fear it and the less you do, the bigger it grows. Screw fear. Throw that in the freaking trash can. 2020 is your year.
Let's get it.
Please write in the comments, what's your goal? It can be tiny. It can be like, I want to run a 3-mile race. I want to walk around my block every day. I want to take this amazing art class. I want to be the president. Write it down, big or small. Make an anonymous YouTube username and write it as a comment on this thing. At least that's holding you accountable. And I'm gonna read them all. I love you. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. If you hated this, it's okay, at least I tried it. And at least I explored and experimented, which is one of my tips. And I'm gonna be proud of this. So I hope you can take something out of this. And if you were looking for, if you needed a little kick in the butt or a little sign thrown at your window being like, make this year yours and start now.
You're welcome.
No matter how much you took from this video, whether you took one tiny tidbit or you loved the whole dang thing, I really hope you have a prosperous 2020 and an amazing 2020 that you're proud of and feeling invigorated by. And that was the reason I made this video. And you'll be hearing more from me. Bye.
Was this weird? I don't know. Bye.